Привет. Simple is written here. No? So first of all, if I don't speak loud enough for those who are in the back, just tell me. I will repeat what I said, okay? Secondly, if you have a question whatsoever, stop me. Ask your questions. I am here for you. You are not here for me. Okay?
Я здесь для вас, поэтому если у вас будут какие-то вопросы, останавливайте лекцию и задавайте свои вопросы.
Katja, can you operate for the slides? Click, click.
There is a
Click.
Where? Which one?
This one?
Yeehaw.
and to the right. You go
This?
forward. Yes,
Спасибо. So, in the beginning, there was food to survive. We had to eat to be alive. Да?
В самом начале это была еда для выживания. Нам необходимо было есть для того, чтобы жить, для того, чтобы выживать.
But strangely enough, very fast, humans understood that food was not only to survive, it was also about having pleasure. So came passion about food.
Как бы это ни казалось странным, достаточно быстро поняли, что еда это не только для того, чтобы выживать, но и для того, чтобы чувствовать какое-то наслаждение, удовольствие. Поэтому появилась еда для страсти, страсть для еды, к еде.
How do we know this? If you watch art, then you will see that food really comes back very often in paintings, in books, in poetry, in love stories, in sculptures, in music even. So food is all about passion, even in the first degree. You cannot become a cook, a chef, if you don't have passion. Yes?
Мы не можем стать
You
шефами,
see,
если у нас нет страсти.
those were cavemen. And already they put animals that they shoot to eat. Why would they do that? They could kill it and just eat it, not paint it. But they worshipped the ingredients. This one is a very nice one, because what do you see? Goose. You see here what we call in French gavé. Je ne sais pas si tu peux traduire ça. It's the way that they feed goose. This is proof that Egyptians already made foie gras. You understand? This is like very astonishing, because how come they already knew foie gras at that time? Though that is not food to live. That is because, da? Here again you see, and it's written in Russian, so sometimes I am very nice. This is a mosaic floor with ingredients used in kitchen or leftovers. The fact that they did this at that time means again that people were passionate about food. Here, this is a sculpture, let us call it a sculpture. It's a basket in clay with fruits. 450 before Christ. They already put this on the table as garnish. Did you know that?
До нашей эры. Это еще было до нашей
I don't think so. Well, now you know. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Marcus Gavius Apicius. You know this name?
Марк Габий Апиций.
He was a wealthy Roman and he was a fine gourmet.
Он был очень богатым человеком и был гурманом.
The first cooking book delle cugineria,
О кулинарии. Первая поварская книга.
it could be considered like the first step to Michelin.
Можно расценивать
It
как первый
was a
шаг к
cookery
Мишлен.
book, but it also was a book who told about what was really nice to eat. So it was not only like, okay, now we make pancakes, da 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 da. No, it was far more than that.
Это была не просто поваренная книга, а книга, в которой можно было
And
понять
if you look at
что-то о культуре еды.
the picture of that time, then you can see that a lot of ingredients are very recognizable with ingredients of today. Here again, you have paintings, you see the dates, and it gives you an idea that food was really important, not to survive, but it was really about passion. Why am I so insisting about this passion for food? Because it has always been there. Yes? And then at some point, there were two French brothers who started a company called Michelin, André and Edouard. They started the company already in the 18th, I don't know exactly because it's about tires and it's not interesting for me. But they came up with an idea to create a guide. In the first, there were only the addresses of places where you could change tires in France.
В 1989 году братья Мишлен впервые придумали такой путеводитель Мишлен, в котором бы они хотели отметить те места, где можно вкусно поесть.
So they started to add places where you could eat. They started to add hotels. They started to add points you could visit for a beautiful view, panoramic.
Начали добавлять туда отели, рестораны, где можно поесть, а также какие-то места.
And the first guide was published in the beginning of the 1900th century during the World Exposition in Paris.
Во время Всемирной выставки в Париже в 1900 году,
So,
он впервые появился.
in 1926, they started to give a star. Not two, not three, only one star. That was the very beginning of the real Michelin guide. They recruited a team of inspectors. Those guys.
Сначала появлялись звезды, и выдавалась только одна звезда, то есть не было вот этой системы трехзвездочной, выдавались только одни. А далее братья Мишлен набрали тайных посетителей, или как так называемых инспекторов, которые сейчас называются инспекторы Мишлен.
So those mystery diners, they had the job of their life, because they could go every day to another restaurant and eat.
Это замечательная работа, когда можно просто весь день ходить и только делать, что есть.
So that's the moment that the first Michelin star was born.
И, собственно, тогда же как раз-таки появились первые рестораны со звездами Мишлен.
So 5 years later, they decided to give from 0 to 3 stars. Yes?
5 лет спустя появилась как раз-таки вот эта иерархия от 0 до 3 звезд.
And in 1936, some years later, again, they decided to publish the criteria. Why can a restaurant get a star? What does he have to do to keep it? What does he have to do to earn it? And this was, at that time, the explanation what was a star.
Были определены критерии как раз-таки в этом же 1935 году для того, чтобы рестораны знали, собственно, по каким критериям получить ту или иную звезду.
So I don't know if you can read it in the back, but 1 star was high quality cooking, worth a stop. This meant, okay, if you drive by, perhaps you can stop and have a nice lunch or
Прежде
dinner.
всего, это была одна звезда, и вы можете остановиться в этом месте для того, чтобы поесть, не сворачивая со своего маршрута.
2 stars was excellent cooking, worth a detour, meaning if you were on the road and it was like 5 kilometers off the road that you were supposed to do, you should do it and have a nice dinner or lunch.
2 звезды, вы можете отклониться от маршрута для того, чтобы перекусить в этом месте. Здесь отличная кухня.
And 3 stars was, of course, the ultimate best. Worth to take your car and go on a journey, especially to visit that restaurant.
3 звезды. Вам исключительная кухня, для которой необходимо совершить специальное путешествие, для того, чтобы попробовать там какие-то блюда.
So next to the stars came, on a later moment, came, of course, the Bib Gourmand. Anybody knows what it is, Bib Gourmand?
Bib Gourmand, Бибендом, Мишлен, шины, мальчик.
You know?
Символ,
Yeah? Bib Gourmand?
резина, да-да-да.
What is the criteria to get a Bib Gourmand? You know?
Кто такой Bib Gourmand?
Da, what?
Do you know? Do you know who is?
You know? Tell me. Teach me.
Big white man.
No. Bib Gourmand. You have stars, da. 1, 2, 3, 0. Huh? Then you have, next to that, you have a big gourmand. Next to that, you have plate. And since 2020, you have a green star. Да? A big gourmand.
Символы помимо звезд, которые появлялись. Первый это был Bib Gourmand, потом тарелка с вилкой и ложкой и зеленая звезда. Вопрос Эрика: что означает каждый из этих символов, из этих пиктограмм, которые появлялись уже в самом гид Мишлен, в этом путеводителе? Что означает Bib Gourmand? An excellent food for the moderate.
Local economic menu, Bib Gourmand. And green star is zero waste, healthy menu, and green menu, and plate. I don't know.
Okay. Very good already. Bravo. So, a Bib Gourmand is like the young lady. What's your name? Valérie? Ok. Ah ben, français alors. Vous êtes française? Moitié-moitié. Ok. So, Valérie gives us the right explanation for what a Bib Gourmand in fact is. So, it's good food, high quality food, not star food, right? No, but good food for an acceptable, moderated price.
Хорошая качественная еда по умеренным ценам.
So, how does this work? Is it worldwide the same price? Did Michelin set at certain point, okay, for the world we will put like €100 is an acceptable price? No. Each country has a different price setting because each country has another economical system. If we say that a Bib Gourmand for Moscow would be 10,000 ruble, people would say they are crazy. That's not normal. For a star, okay, but not for a Bib Gourmand. So for Russia, for Moscow for the moment, because Michelin is only at Moscow this year, last year and this year. Next year it will be St. Petersburg. And the year after that, perhaps, yippee-ki-yay, Krasnoyarsk, who knows? So they set the price for Russia at the moment at 2,400 ruble. So a restaurant who is able to provide a menu, attention, menu, da, not one dish, meaning first dish, main dish, dessert. for 2,400 ruble and it's good quality, then they get a bib gourmand. Да.
Не совсем понятно, да, наверное, о чем идет речь. Биб-гурман означает хорошая качественная еда по умеренной цене, но эта умеренная стоимость должна соответствовать экономическим стандартам той или иной страны или того или иного города, в котором, собственно, и ставится данный значок, данный символ напротив ресторана. Поэтому здесь не может быть одной какой-то единого стандарта, он различается от экономики, собственно, разных стран.
In 2016, they decided to add, because this was 1955, yes. No, 55. So it's already... In 2016, they decided to add the plate. Not many people know this. You already have to buy the guide and look in it, and then you will know about this. But it's almost never mentioned, because it's simple, serve good food. There is no rules about price or whatever. It's about simple, traditional, good food. Made with respect, of course. And the green one, it's about sustainability, as Valérie told us.
Зеленая звезда, я думаю, все знают, природосообразность гастрономии, то есть устойчивое развитие окружающей среды. Зеленая звезда Мишлен.
So, we now know that star, bib gourmand, and plate are the ones that are important. The green one as well, but it's very, very new. So it's still like, it still must find its way. Next to that comes this. Cuillère fourchette. Anybody knows what this represents? Don't read.
Кто-нибудь знает? Cuillère fourchette. Перевести. Cuillère.
Repeat what you said.
Ложка.
Ложка, да?
Да.
And it was to represent what?
Что это означает?
Ложка. Простота, удобство.
Comfortable.
Да? Yes? It represents the level of luxury of the restaurant. If you would sit at a table like this, or if you would sit really relaxed and comfortable. That's what this represents. So, in the guide, you can see, for example, a one-star restaurant with 3 fourchettes. Or a 3-star restaurant with 1 fourchette. It's possible.
Может быть такое, что у ресторана может быть 3 звезды Мишлен, но одна только вилка и ложка. Или наоборот, может быть 3 вилки-ложки и только одна звезда. Такое может быть, это совершенно 2 разные категории: звезды и, собственно, комфортность, и вот это вот удобство.
And to make it less complicated, they even added a red fourchette and a black fourchette. Duh, yes. So nobody understands anymore how it works. Only chefs understand really how it works, but normal people, what is this fourchette thing? No. But I'm mentioning it so you know as well. If tomorrow you buy a Michelin guide and you see this, you understand what it is about. Then there are also les petits hôtels, small houses. The more houses attached to each other, the more luxury the hotel or the guest room will be. Okay? It's like 5 stars hotel. But it's very confusing because you have 3 stars restaurants, but you have 5 stars hotels. You even have a 7-star hotel only one worldwide. It's in Dubai. So, how does this work? Huh? The inspectors are supposed to be anonymous. Nobody should know who they are. They cannot keep this for a long time because as a chef, you recognize them immediately. They have a certain behavior, so yes. And believe me, a lot of chefs are afraid of inspectors.
Самое главное для инспекторов, как вообще работает гид Мишлен, это главные люди в этом, это инспекторы. И инспекторы прежде всего должны сохранять анонимность. Их никто не должен знать, но тем не менее долго они это хранить не могут, и многие шефы просто их уже спустя какое-то время узнают и даже очень сильно боятся того, чтобы они пришли к ним в ресторан.
As I said, number one is being anonymous, not known. That's
Самое главное, самый первый критерий
first keyword to be an inspector.
для того, чтобы быть инспектором, это сохранять анонимность.
Second keyword is to be independent, meaning that you cannot work as an inspector for Michelin and write as a food journalist for newspaper. It is not done. It's logical.
Ты должен быть независимым. Ты работаешь только в гиде Мишлен, ты не можешь писать какие-то другие статьи в разные журналы.
Of course, these people are selected on the expertise that they have. So they all worked as a chef at some time in their life or in the hotel business.
Все инспекторы обязательно работали либо в гостиничном бизнесе, либо были какое-то время шеф-поварами каких-либо ресторанов.
Reliability, it's also one of the key words. And then, in my opinion, the most important one, passion.
Reliability, надежность, либо достоверность предоставляемых ими информации.
You cannot do that kind of job if you don't have passion. You cannot be a chef if you don't have passion. You cannot learn to cook. That's terrible. You're in an institute where they teach you how to cook, and I say you cannot learn to cook.
Ну и самое последнее – это страсть. Вы не можете по-настоящему быть шефом, если у вас в сердце нет этой страсти к приготовлению пищи.
What you learn is technique.
То, что вы изучаете, это техника.
But cooking, it's in your blood. It's in your soul, it's in your heart. It's here. Same for serving.
То же самое для сервиса, думаю, вы поняли. Вы изучаете техники, но все это все равно должно быть у вас в сердце, в вашей душе. То же самое касается и менеджмента.
Yeah, this is blah, 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 that I already said, in fact, but a little bit more elegant. But the thing is, anonymous, all inspectors should be not known. If tomorrow they come in a restaurant and you recognize them, then that would mean that you could adapt your service to an higher standard because he's sitting there or she is sitting there. Yes, there are female inspectors. It's not only men. It's not a man's world. Remember, and remember this for the rest of your career, if you work in a kitchen or in service, food, restaurant business is feminine job. You look like, what is he saying?
Why?
You see? Why? I'm a man, I don't do a woman job. It's not a woman job, it's feminine. There is a difference. Food need to be elegant. Da? Yes? Tasty. Smelling, oh, good. Da? Men, in general, they stink. They are not elegant because we walk like this. Women, they walk elegant. They dress elegant. They smell nice. And we cook with the perception of a woman. When men eat, they take a bone. Yes? We take big bites because we have big mouth. A woman never does that. She eats elegantly. She takes a spoon. Oh, good. You understand my point? If you make a garnish, for in your soup, for example, and the garnish is bigger than your spoon, then you are, in my opinion, an idiot. Because the lady needs to eat it, so she needs to get it into her mouth. And if there is hanging out a lot of, then she cannot, and it will drop on her blows, and she will not be happy. And the man who is sitting next to her, he will be the victim of her hunger. You understand now why it's feminine? Okay. We are in the business of passion. Huh? We all love our wives. And we all try to satisfy them at every level. And food, how do they say? I don't know if they say this in Russia, but in Belgium they say, love from a man goes through his stomach. You said you have the same saying? Love from a woman go through a taste. A little bit different. Okay, the 5 criteria that Michelin uses to attribute a star, yes or no. First one, quality of the product. I think that I don't have to explain to you what this means. You understand this, da? If you use fish, you use fresh fish, da? If you want to make a dish with mussels, you use fresh mussels, not frozen ones. I know that perhaps here in Russia you cannot get them, but if you can't get them, you don't give them. It's very simple. I come in restaurants. I'll give you an example. In Moscow, one of the most famous, not only one, but 3 of the most famous restaurants asked me to do an audit about a review about their restaurants. What I see, asparagus. Asparagus badly peeled, badly prepared. So I confront the chef with this. And he says to me, I say, your quality is not okay, my friend. You want to have a star? With this product, never. Yes, but I know that it is not good, but my customers, they want asparagus. As a chef, you are responsible for what you give to your guests. If your ingredient is not good, if your ingredient is out of season, don't put it on the menu, even if your guest asks for it.
Пример понятен? Все понятно, да? Про спаржу, что она была плохо приготовлена, плохо была почищена, соответственно, это совершенно не годится. И то, что шеф говорит о том, что мои покупатели, мои гости, они хотят это видеть в меню, это не оправдание, потому что шеф, он ответственный за то, что он, собственно, подает в своем ресторане. И просто потому, что этого хотят гости, нет, так не пойдет.
This is the fact for every ingredient that you use. Not okay, out of season, don't use it. Your customer is not a king. Your guests is like a brother. A brother may do a lot of things, but not everything. Okay? A king, he can really ask you to sit. Not me, of course, because I will not. But that's the difference. So please, quality of products, go for the right quality. If you put pasta on your menu, make it yourself. Don't buy does dry. There are good qualities of pasta, but not for a Michelin star restaurant. It's for other restaurants. It depends on what you want. Okay? If you want a big gourmand, then you can use that type of product, because there is also the price that you pay for it. 2,400 ruble. Okay, second point that they will look at is the technique that you use to cook. And how you master the flavors.
Второе — это, собственно, сами техники и то, как вы умеете сочетать вкусы.
What do I mean by technique? Very simple. Who knows what the Maillard effect is? Maillard.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Je vais vous expliquer. Who knows? What is it?
Caramelized.
Yes, it's the natural sugar which is in an ingredient that you use to caramelize the outside. When you do that, you get really taste. I give you an example. When you bake meat and your butter or your oil, your masala is not hot enough, your meat will boil. If it boils,
Если масло, в котором вы будете ваше мясо, не будет достаточно горячим, то оно просто у вас сварится, а не пожарится.
if your meat boils, it's not tasty. But when it becomes brown, you know, this brown crust, then this, you get this nice taste, which makes you take another piece. So that's the Maillard effect. It's caramelizing of a product on a natural way without adding sugar. You can do that with cauliflower. Who baked cauliflower? Да. Yeah. Tasty, huh? Better than simply cooked. When you do it with cabbage, also. So that is technique. Да? That you know how to prepare your ingredients. That you know when you need to stop baking your fish. When it's enough. When it's still a little bit rosé at the bone. When it is overcooked, it's dry, it's not pleasant to eat, and it becomes mushy. That's what they mean by technique. That's what an inspector will look for. He will order fish, believe me. He will order meat, and he will call you, and he will ask, bleu chaud, s'il vous plaît. Medium, no, not rare. Hot, rare, bleu chaud. So if you miss the way to cook your steak, this will mean that he will deduct points. The personality of the chef. That's a difficult one to explain to you, but I will try. Today you are in an institute where they learn you techniques to cook. But each chef, when I cook, my clients, my ex-clients, they still recognize my style. They taste, they smell, and they say, oh, that's Eric. That's the personality that you put in a dish. You create a new dish, meaning you create a new story. Something you believe in, something that fits with your philosophy about food, about ingredients, and you will translate this into a dish. And it should be recognizable. You should be able to say, when you take a spoon, oh, even when you look, that's Nikita. Or, oh, that's Vladimir, Mochin. Because they are recognizable. So your story in the future, you will have to define your own style and make your own story in each dish. If you make a dish without story, it is without passion.
Третий критерий очень важный, это личность самого шефа. Соответственно, Эрик привел пример, что даже его гости в прошлом, они, когда пробуют его блюдо, они узнают, что да, это блюдо Эрика. И, собственно, у вас также сейчас вы учитесь, и в будущем важно, чтобы ваша философия, ваша история, ваша личность отражалась во всех ваших блюдах. Главное это, чтобы каждое блюдо было узнаваемым. Когда ты пробуешь, ты такой, о да, это блюдо Никиты, или это блюдо Валерии, 100% это ее личность.
Да? You understand that? Yes? Okay, good. Next point, harmony of flavors. It seems logic. Yes? You will not put ananas, pineapple, together with black cod. That's the first reaction. Because you think that those two, they do not fit. But there is a tool created by a Belgian guy, Bernard Laus, and he created a thing called the food pairing tree. Anybody knows what that is?
Food pairing.
You're fantastic. So what she said?
Задание нам недавно давали.
Ah. Interesting, да? So what does the food... What?
Tendencies. Gastronomic tendencies.
Trans, yeah. But food pairing tree system already exists since, let me think, 2006, if I'm right. So it's not something very new. It's already, a lot of chefs in Europe use this system, where in fact they look at the chemical component of an ingredient and they look at another ingredient, their chemical component, and if they see that they are the same, then they know that you can put it together. For example, chocolate. We all like chocolate. But you can combine chocolate with blue cheese.
Можно ли сочетать шоколад с голубым сыром?
No. But if you don't know, you should not.
What do you think would...
You think, oh, terrible. Taste.
No, this.
Yes, taste. Yes. You are here as chef? What are you, marketing student?
А вы здесь как шеф или как студент маркетинга или
Как студент Институт Гастрономии.
но ты будешь шефом. You are the future.
You will be chef? Then I give you a good piece of advice. Open your mind, not like a horse. Yeah? Open. Open the possibilities and try. As a chef, you should try each and every ingredient, even if you use these stupid, ugly, untasty bouillon cubes from Maggi and other one. Taste it pure, like this, not dissolved in water. So you understand that there is a lot of salt in this product and there is a lot of chemistry inside. But you should also be open to combine tastes. And believe me, do you eat blue cheese? Not really.
Пробовал?
Очень редко, очень мало, давно. Russia is very rich country.
Yes, Putin is rich, yeah? Да. Very rich.
My family,
Not rich.
да.
Yes. My tailor rich, but me too not rich. But okay.
Where we can taste this blue cheese?
What?
Where we can taste
Blue cheese? But you have Russia has an own production of blue cheese.
blue cheese
you have farm shops. Do you have farm shops in
Есть
Krasnoyarsk?
у нас фермерские какие-то магазины в городе? Фермерские магазины,
Yes.
где есть голубой сыр?
Есть. Формачо.
Есть.
Нет, да. I'm in the middle, I don't know.
Формачо. Сыроварня, как сказать?
Well, that's a restaurant. Formaggi is a restaurant from Bellini Group. Yes, there they have blue cheese.
Firma, this is the farm for made cheese here from Formaggio.
Ah, okay.
Yes, here in Krasnoyarsk.
Yeah,
And they
Also
make,
Bellini
they
Data.
make blue cheese.
of course. Not go. You, da. What's your name?
David.
David. Beckham? No. Too bad, otherwise you would be rich, my friend. Do not go to a shop called OK. Do not go to a shop called Da. Do not go to Globus if you want something special. Go to your own farmer shop. I am not Russian and I know this.
Нужно ходить в фермерские магазины для того, чтобы найти там какие-то продукты локальные.
There you can find blue Russian origin cheese, the so-called imitation of Gorgonzola and Gambozzola. You will find it there, and they are very nice. So, and chocolate, you know where to find it, huh? Good. You. Next week, and I will come back to see you. You will go ask a small piece of blue cheese to try. You get it for free. Farmer shop, they tell, oh, eat, try. And then you can decide if you want to buy. So it will not cost you anything. Take a piece of chocolate, black chocolate, not milk. Yeah? Put it in your pocket, go to the farmer shop. Can I try that blue cheese? Put it on the chocolate, put it in your mouth, close your eyes, and feel what you are tasting. Sense the story. And then think what you can do with this. Think, oh, perhaps I should put some rucola. Huh? You know what it is, rucola? Da, okay. Oh, perhaps I should put some sea salt. Because with the chocolate, salt also works very, very good. Again, no? Oh, yes.
Вы поняли, да, домашнее задание?
So you understand my point? Next week I'll come back. What's his name? Write it down. I want to know if he went to shop to get blue cheese. Huh? So you see, please be open-minded. Don't close your mind and don't think, ooh, that's not good. It's not because you not like a certain ingredient that a combination of some ingredients make it to it something fantastic. A good cuisine to understand this is Italian kitchen. They only use 2-3 ingredients to make amazing dishes. It's called La Cucina di Poveri, the kitchen of the poor people. They use pasta, olive oil, and garlic. And it is great. Yes, I see you say it is great, it is very tasty. And then there was one guy, he thought, oh, I will put vongole.
Понятно, да? Понятно. Паста, чеснок и олив ойл.
Can you complete about chocolate and blue cheese?
Yeah.
When I was in Czech Republic, I taste candies from black chocolate and blue cheese, and it was very tasty.
Of course it is very tasty. But our mind, when we are young, or even old, our mind is closed. And we are not open to things where we are too traditional. And sometimes you need to put aside your traditions and you need to be a daredevil and try.
То есть
Who ever eat insects here?
мысли от вот этого традиционного взгляда для того, чтобы понять это сочетание вкусов.
And also when I was in Moscow, I tasted the chocolate fondant with chili pepper.
Very good.
It was tasty too.
Yes, chocolate with bacon. Incredible. Chocolate praline with marijuana. We make this in Belgium. We have special license because it's drug, so it's a little bit.
Шоколад.
But you think that chocolate and cheese not work together? Very strange, because there is a product which is sold in your Russian shop. They sell cheese with chocolate. It's called Pasqua. Pasqua? It is like cheese to put on bread, and there is chocolate inside.
Like Nutella?
We have also
It's not-
chocolate butter.
It's not, yes, you also have chocolate butter. So you see, my story about blue cheese and chocolate is not so strange, because it is already not in that configuration, but it is commercialized by food industry. And food industry only bring product on the market if they are sure that they will make money out of it. They don't care if it is good. The only thing they care is that you buy it. So, and if they do this, believe me, then it works. Who eat insects? You? Artist? I do not understand.
Кто ест насекомых?
Чай.
В малине.
Okay, for those who are interested, I will show you about, but after the presentation, because it's not here. Because in my opinion, Russia is not ready for caterpillars. There are some restaurants who are doing this, but your mind is not open enough for this.
Caterpillars.
Which is, caterpillars is,
В бабочках коконы. Бабочки в коконе, да? Ну да, вот эти.
des vers de terre.
Гусеницы. Россия пока что не готова.
Gusano.
Гусеницы.
Yeah. It's very tasty. And you think, oh, who is eating this? But we were eating that centuries ago because it was a source of protein.
Раньше все это ели, потому что это хороший источник протеина.
So now you all like, "Ugh." But your grandparents, they were eating this. But when you eat an oyster, did you already look at an oyster, how it looks? And still you say, oh, oysters, more good. But it looks horrible. It looks like an alien, and you eat it. So what's the difference? So you see, it's all about our brain and our conception of what we see. We let our eyes decide for us if we eat something, yes or no. There is a guy, he's called Denis Martin. He has a 2-star Michelin restaurant in Vevey, Switzerland. And this guy, if you have the opportunity, please go. It will be very, very interesting. I would suggest that the Institute organize a journey to Switzerland. Okay? This guy, what you get or what you see is not what you get. So every dish that he cooks has nothing to do with what you are getting. It's a very strange sensation. I explain to you. He makes vodka orange without vodka and without orange. So vodka orange, appelsien, vodka appelsien,
Апельсиновая водка.
but нет vodka, нет appelsien.
В апельсиновой водке нет ни апельсина, ни водки.
Yes, that's the dish. When you see it, when it comes, you see an orange on the plate. You see an orange. If you love cucumber very, very much, and you want to eat cucumber every day, they can wake you up for cucumber because it's your favorite food. Да?
Огурец. Если огурец это самое любимое ваше блюдо и что? Ну, важно, да-да-да.
What?
Ваш любимый огурец.
Yeah, or whatever. But here in this case, he used cucumber, and that's why I said cucumber. So, you love cucumber. This guy made cucumber look like an orange. You really see orange.
Этот шеф делает из огурца абсолютно похожую копию апельсина, который находится на тарелке.
When you put it in your mouth, you taste cucumber.
И когда вы это пробуете, вы чувствуете, что это огурец.
What happens? What do you think? Your eyes manipulate your brain, so your brain expects the taste of orange. But it's cucumber. And even if you adore cucumber, you will spit it out. You will say, whoa, poof. That's crazy, right?
То есть идет спор между вашим мозгом и тем, что вы видите, и тем, что вы чувствуете.
This only means that the perception of food is steered by your eyes if you don't know how to taste. You understand that? As a chef, it's very important that you... Okay? But you should go to his restaurant. He has another dish which is really marvelous. It's called rien. In English, nothing. And it comes with a plate with nothing inside, only a spoon. And then the waiter comes with a saucière. And he puts some sauce, but there is no sauce. There is really nothing. So you have an empty plate with an empty spoon. And then he comes at the table, the chef himself, Denis Martin, and he tells you to eat. And you look at him, you say, Chef, there's nothing in the plate. What should I eat? Put the spoon in your mouth. And it's when you put the spoon in your mouth that the miracle starts. You have to put this spoon 6 times in your mouth. First time, you have a first taste that appears. Second time, you have another taste until 6 different tastes are in this spoon. You cannot see them. He was so smart to put you know this candy, magic ball.
Конфетка. В общем, сейчас, one second. Please, про пример с пустой тарелкой. Что просто вам приносят, что-то наливают, но тем не менее тарелка пустая, и каждый раз, когда гость что-то пробует, он чувствует 6 раз попробует и чувствует каждый раз новое, что-то новое у себя во рту, новый вкус. И конфетка, кэнди, magic ball.
Magic ball has different colors. And each time you put it in your mouth, you have a color. And then you take it out and then another color.
Ну, как наподобие чупа-чупса, когда несколько слоев разных, собственно, вкусов, и каждый раз он какой-то новый.
Well, perhaps it not exists here in Russia, but it's worldwide. Everybody knows this.
It's like,
Well, it's the same concept. He used kind of gelatin, very thin layer, and each time at the temperature of your mouth, this layer, first layer melts. Second time, second layer melts, but you do not see it. So it's quite inventive. So again, there, your eyes, you say there is nothing, but then still you taste. That's very interesting because your brain is not manipulated by what you see, and you really start to understand the taste. You get it? Good. Hallelujah.
it means that on the spoon there is something or not?
Yes, on the spoon there is gelatin,
Окей.
a very thin
Все, да,
layer.
поняли, да. Хорошо, что на самой ложке просто находятся вот эти вот желатиновые слои, которые с каждым разом уходят, и ты чувствуешь какой-то новый вкус.
Okay? So, harmony of flavor, I think that everybody understands what it means. Duh. It's very important. And then comes the consistency between the visits. Meaning, if you make a dish with a flour, yes, and this dish is called with Moscow from with love from Moscow, blah, whatever. Next time that he comes and he order with love from Moscow, and the flour is not on the dish, he will deduct a point. You understand?
Мы сейчас говорим про пятый критерий, и должно быть обязательно вот эта вот последовательность и соответствие между посещениями одного инспектора. Если инспектор, предположим, что есть какое-то блюдо, которое называется «Из Москвы с любовью», и первый раз вы приходите, и там на блюде лежит цветочек, а в следующий раз вы его заказываете, и его нет какой-то части, какой-то детали, то это, собственно, уже минус 2.
So it's not only about the quality of the ingredient, it's also about the consistency of your dish. You cannot make a sauce with a certain name today like that, and tomorrow, we do something else. No. That's one of the reasons some chefs are so afraid of inspectors that they keep their menu for more than 3 years. There is a good example. Aston Blumenthal, fat duck, you know? Oh, you're smart, Valerie. He did not change his menu for 3 years because he was scared to lose one of his 3 stars.
И очень часто шефы не меняют свое меню, и один из шефов не менял его 3 года для того, чтобы не потерять как раз-таки вот свою одну из 3 звезд. И важно как раз-таки не только качество ингредиентов, но и то, из чего состоит блюдо, то есть его консистенция, его все детали блюда. Они должны всегда быть одинаковыми.
Oh, I did something wrong. Da. So, our Michelin stars or awards forever. Once you get it, you keep it for the rest of life?
Навсегда ли даются звезды Мишлен?
No. I am an ex-Michelin star chef. When I stopped, I had to give my star back. It's not a real star, of course. It's.
Я бывший
So-
шеф, и я должен был, собственно, после того, как закончил свою карьеру, отдать эту звезду.
One of the most painful examples that Michelin can take stars back has happened to Gordon Ramsay.
Самая болезненная ситуация случилась с Гордоном Рамзи, что касается звезд Мишлен.
In 2013, the restaurant London in New York of Gordon Ramsay lost overnight, time of 1 day, 2 of his stars.
В 2013 году ресторан Лондон Гордона Рамзи потерял сразу 2 звезды, буквально за одну ночь.
Why? Because there were customers who filed a complaint about the food. So Michelin sent it over a task force, not one inspector, but several, to go and see what was the matter.
А все из-за того, что кто-то из гостей, кто-то из посетителей просто-напросто пожаловался на какое-то блюдо. И в тот же самый момент была собрана команда по чрезвычайным случаям из инспекторов, это не один инспектор, их несколько, которые сразу же ринулись, вот, собственно, разбираться, в чем там дело.
So at the moment that happened, I can you assure that Gordon was crying. This was not a pleasant moment.
В тот момент можно быть уверенным, что Гордон действительно плакал, потому что это серьезно, это больно.
More than that, he was even not there. It was his staff who did mistakes, but he paid the price for it. So yes, they can take back your star. It's not forever.
First mistake and lose 2 years? Oh, yes.
2 stars, да. It's normal. Yes, it's normal. At that level, you are not allowed to make mistakes.
На
It's not possible that I come eat in your restaurant, you have 2 stars or 3 stars. In this case, he had 3 stars. And you giving me shit to eat, but I pay $1,000. You think that I'm going to be happy? No. So it's also Michelin responsibility and the responsibility of the inspectors to make sure that something like this not happens. That's why chefs, they are afraid. Owners of restaurants, they are afraid of Michelin.
Именно поэтому практически все шефы и все рестораны сильно боятся инспекторов.
This is a very sad example.
Это очень грустный пример потери звездности.
So as I said, for some, Michelin star are like the recognition of the knowledge of cooking, their skills, their arts, because cooking is an art. It's not a job. We are artists. As chefs, we create. So for some, it's really like a gift to have a Michelin star. But believe me, more than a gift, it is really a curse.
На самом деле, для многих кажется, что получение звезд Мишлен – это настоящий подарок, это что-то свыше, это прекрасно, но, поверьте, для множества это на самом деле настоящее проклятие.
We speak about the day 4th of February 2003.
В феврале 2003 года
A very sad, sad day.
это был очень грустный день.
Chef Loiseau,
Шеф Луазо,
one of the most famous chefs of France, 3 stars, after his service, took a shotgun and shot in his own face.
после своей смены выстрелил себе в голову.
This has been a serious event for a lot of discussion. Why did he shoot in his face? Because a stupid journalist published in a newspaper that Loiseau was about to lose a star.
И это грустно, потому что Луазо покончил жизнь самоубийством из-за того, что какой-то журналист написал в газете слух, распространил слух о том, что Луазо может лишиться своих звезд.
It was speculation.
Была спекуляция.
It was not even true.
И это была неправда, это был просто слух.
But Loiseau killed himself because he could not live with the idea that he possibly would lose a star.
Но Луазо не мог с этим жить, думая о том, что он может потерять собственную.
Some years later, Loiseau was used to create the character of Auguste Gusteau from Ratatouille.
Собственно, несколько лет спустя его образ был взят за основу героя мультика «Рататуй».
So, Pixar used Loiseau or honored Loiseau by integrating him in his animation movie, Ratatouille, which is a great movie. But you see, the weight of a Michelin star can be extremely heavy. 1 star, okay. 2 stars, it's already. But 3 stars, it's really very serious business. We are talking about a lot of money. We are talking about very big investments. We are talking about constant pressure that guests from all over the world are making booking, and your restaurant will be full.
Награда Мишлен это может быть действительно тяжелая ноша, потому что речь идет о больших деньгах, о больших инвестициях. Собственно, все гости со всего мира. И шеф находится постоянно под давлением, поскольку все хотят гости забронировать столики и посетить этот ресторан.
Why am I telling you this? Because this is a very sad story, right? It's not funny at all. I want you to understand the good side of Michelin, but I want you to understand as well the bad side of it.
Вам необходимо понимать и хорошую сторону, и не самую приятную, грустную сторону награждения Мишлен.
More and more chefs today refuse the star. They even tell Michelin, please take my name out of the guide.
Они просят не вносить свое имя или название ресторана в этот путеводитель, в гид Мишлен.
Because they can no longer take all the pressure that comes with it.
Потому что они просто не смогут справиться с этим давлением.
So let me tell you something. If you're doing this job to get a Michelin star,
Если вы делаете эту работу для того, чтобы получить звезды,
or if you want to become a chef because you want to have a star later, then you are very wrong. And it will never happen.
если вы хотите стать шефом только ради этого, это никогда не произойдет.
This is my quote. I didn't choose this profession because I wanted stars.
Я не выбирала.
In fact, it was the profession who chose me because of my passion is cooking.
Понятно, да? Я не выбирала эту профессию, эта профессия выбрала меня, потому что кулинария – это моя страсть.
This is very important. This is my best advice that I can give you.
Это самый лучший
Only do this
совет, который я
job
могу вам дать.
because it's in your soul, it's in your blood, it's in your heart. Not, do not do this job because of the luxury and the elegance and all the glamour that comes so-called with it, because there is no glamour. You are standing in the kitchen when others are having a party. You are working hard when other goes to the cinema. You cannot go and play football because you will be busy with your mise en place. You are in the business of providing pleasure to your guests. That's the reason why you live. If that is not the reason why you live, you should leave this classroom now and go look for another kind of education. You should not be in gastronomy.
Понятно? В целом. В целом понятно?
I'm really a bad devil, right?
Просто профессия шефа, я думаю, все вы это уже знаете, это не о роскоши, это не о том, чтобы там с кем-то проводить время, а постоянно стоите в кухне и, собственно, делаете свое дело. Если вы не готовы к этому, то вы сейчас прямо можете выйти отсюда и пойти прогуляться. Если вам хочется.
Hello, Valerie. All good? Okay, I'm happy. So, this being said, let's talk about some presentation and new styles of presentation.
Теперь поговорим о презентации блюд.
You have the chaotic presentation like this. Very easy to do. You put some, in this case, squid ink in the middle of a dish. You take a spoon, poof, up, and you have this. Very easy. Then you have the minimalistic presentation, like this. One langoustine, oyster, mayonnaise. Somebody knows from who this dish is?
Чье это блюдо? Кто-нибудь знает?
Bravo! Good. This is indeed from René Redzepi Norman. Then you have the, what I call, I do not know how to put it on a plate, presentation. Yes. And then you have not also the most basic products with the most expensive products that comes like this. We not put spaghetti, when we do this, we don't put spaghetti in the plate like that. No, we put it nicely. Interesting, nah? Painting dish. A lots of chefs get their inspiration out of art.
Многие
We are in the business of giving pleasure and passion, but we also are artists. I said before, as a chef, you are an artist. You create. Да? So, some chefs not know, then they take an example. Another one. This, of course, you recognize who this is? This time, no? How do you know? Fantastic. This is Vladimir Mukin. Yes, it's White Rabbit. I know, you recognize the tile, да? Oui, c'est très bien.
Это блюдо из ресторанного Untitled.
Это блюдо из ресторанного.
Dernière année, j'ai fait un restaurant White Rabbit.
Ah, vous avez fait un stage là-bas? Chez mon ami. He's my good Russian friend, Vladimir. Here's another one, also inspired by art. Another one, the dog dish. I think he looked too much to Batman or something like that. Very recognizable, but very nice cake. You see what you can do? There are possibilities. So sometimes we don't have inspiration. How should we put it on a plate? Take books, look at art, do not copy your colleagues. You should do what you feel is right, what your dish is about. Do not copy Vladimir Mukin. Vladimir is Vladimir, you are you.
Не нужно копировать своих коллег, иногда достаточно просто посмотреть, где-то вдохновиться каким-то произведением для того, чтобы свое блюдо презентовать в своей манере.
And do certainly not copy me, because I'll find you when I kill you.
Не надо копировать Эрика, потому что он найдет вас и убьет вас.
Yes, this is a dish. It's ravioli. You see how stupid it can be, but with the right idea behind it and the right concept of a set, because it should fit in your complete set. If you do a degustation menu, there should be logic in it. No? You can do something very basic, like this. Or like that, the Lamborghini dessert dish. Who is this? That's a good one. Psst. You should not say. How do you know? You went there?
No.
Oh, okay. Who is this? It's dessert. Not put on a plate, because this chef, he works directly with his food on the table. So, ding dong, still not?
То есть это не тарелка, это прямо на столе.
The chef's name is Grant. Grant. Still not? The restaurant is in Chicago. Of course, yes. Still not? What the hell? Who makes dessert directly on the napkin?
Кто может сделать прямо на скатерти?
Here you see the hand of the guest. Da. This is Alinea.
Алинеа.
Write it down. If you not know what restaurant Alinea represents, go to the website. You will see some amazing footage.
Зайдите и посмотрите на сайте про этот ресторан Алинеа в Чикаго.
So as you see, we not always need to use a plate. Huh? You worked in White Rabbit, so you know that Vladimir sometimes used a piece of tree to put his appetizer on.
Владимир Мухин, шеф-повар White Rabbit, иногда использует вместо тарелок кусочки дерева для того, чтобы подавать аппетайзеры на них.
We saw René Redzepi, langoustine, was presented on a stone from the river.
На камне
Is it craziness if I tell you yes? But once that you see, then you see and you understand what it is about. The only thing that I'm telling you, if you use natural elements to do your presentation, make sure that everything that you put is eatable, or that the material where you put it on is not toxic.
Обязательно удостоверьтесь, что все используемые вами натуральные элементы должны быть не токсичными, и все ингредиенты на нем должны быть пригодны для еды, для употребления.
Never put something in your plate that touches the food which is not eatable.
Никогда не нужно класть на тарелку то, что нельзя съесть, чтобы это каким-то образом соприкасалось с едой.
I see some chefs using pieces of pine tree.
Некоторые шефы используют елочные веточки пихты.
First of all, some pine trees are poison.
Некоторые пихтовые веточки.
Some you can use, but some of them are poison. And even if they are not poison, the needles,
Даже если они не ядовитые,
they are very dangerous. Because if you get one in your throat and it gets stuck, then you can go to hospital with your guest. And you are responsible. So don't use things that are not eatable. Okay?
что ваш гость получил
Even when they are eatable, so-called eatable, be very careful. I give you an example that happened in Spain. Michelin star chefs prepare morels. You know what it is? Type of mushroom.
Один испанский шеф, пример Эрик приводит, приготовил сморчки.
Morels.
Сморчки.
Марчук?
Сморчок.
Smarchuk. Smarchuk. My Russian improves every day. Incredible. If you use raw smarchuk, you are working with poison.
Вы работаете
Did you know that? No. If you not cook them, you will kill somebody.
если вы это приготовите.
In this restaurant in Spain, what happened was that the chef prepared, there was a lady who was her birthday, 46 years. She was sitting there with the children and the husband, and she wanted to eat marchuk. Still pronouncing right? Marchuk? No.
Сморчок.
Smartchuk. Smartchuk. Okay, that's intelligent, a smartchuk. So it,
Шеф испанский приготовил для дня рождения сморчок.
hello. You have to be polite. I say hello to the camera, I forgot. So this lady eat the smartchuk from the chef, and 2 hours later she was unwell and she died. She didn't even have the opportunity to go to hospital. She died in the restaurant.
Собственно, спустя 2 часа.
Reason was that the chef not cooked the smartchuk enough.
Недостаточно приготовленный сморчок привел к тому, что женщина погибла спустя 2 часа. Так
So you have to cook them through, and then the toxins which are inside go out. And there are a lot of ingredients like that which you should be very careful with.
И очень много ингредиентов, с которыми вы должны быть.
So do yourself a favor. If you don't know about mushrooms, don't go in the woods and don't go pick up mushrooms and then come back to your restaurant and say, we have fresh mushrooms, and I, as a chef, I went to in the woods and I get I prepared them to them for you, and then you will have a funeral. Don't do that.
Не нужно этого делать, не нужно
You need to be an
собирать
expert
свежие грибы в
to
лесу.
recognize mushrooms.
Вы должны узнавать и знать грибы и то, что вы готовите.
And I think it's really a hobby in Russia that chefs, they like to go in the woods, they pick up ingredients, and then accidents happen because they are not experts. So when you are a chef, you stand in your kitchen. If you want to be an expert in mushrooms, you be an expert in mushrooms. But you cannot be a chef and an expert at the same
Если
time.
вы-
Is he not why he used the dangerous ingredient in his restaurant?
What? This?
Why he used the dangerous
It's
ingredient?
not a dangerous ingredient if you know what you are doing with it. It's one of my favorite mushrooms. I really like that, and I see that in Russia, when the season is, they put this mushroom on every menu.
Валерия спросила, почему он использовал этот ингредиент, этот опасный ингредиент.
It's one of the most tastiest ones.
Он не опасен, он опасен только в том случае, если он неправильно приготовлен. И еще, если вы шефы, вы эксперты в области приготовления пищи, если вы любите ходить за грибами, то просто тогда идите и да, собирайте грибы, но не нужно их нести и подавать, собственно, на свои блюда. Okay?
It's not only mushroom, we have fish.
И то же самое касается рыбы.
In Japan, kugelfish, fuga. If you cut it wrong and you eat it, you go say hello to St. Peter.
В общем, если вы неправильно разделаете, то суд приведет к тому, что вы скажете привет Святому Питеру.
Okay, this is another type of presentation where we do a collection, as we call it. So this is one dish, but each time we use ingredients in a different way. Here too. So if you take it, this is the dish. When you take it apart, you have 3 dishes. This is Houtsluis Sergio Herman. 3 stars and 2020 in Gomio. Here, who knows what it is? Filet de sole normand.
Кто знает, что такое филе соли по-нормандски?
This is basic, guys. Each chef should know this dish. This is really basics.
Филе, да.
Sole filet, да? Fish. Yeah? Normand is the way the sauce is, yes? So I took this dish because normally it's worldwide known, but apparently here still not.
Я выбрала это блюдо, потому что
It will come, now that I tell you about, you will look it up. I'm not going to explain the recipe, I want you to look it up. So, in the 70s, it was presented like this.
в 70-х оно подавалось.
Why do I do this? So you understand evolution of presentation. Huh? We are no longer in the 70s. If you do your presentation like then your restaurant should call itself retrospective or something like that. Or prehistorical monster. In the 90s, the same dish was presented like this. Okay, for those who are not really clever, they already see that there is a velouté, that there is sole filet, that there are mussels, that there are mushrooms, that there are shrimps. It's a very nice sauce, very nice dish. And in 2020, this is another presentation. And believe me, though you would not think that those ingredients are the same, the end result of the taste is the same, with a little extra. Because here are vegetables involved which are not there. So this is in fact the decomposition of this dish, not of this one, of this. Okay? So that's all very nice, but how to plate logically and how to plate today and tomorrow? Let's see if I can show you. So what do we have here? Sea bass, Mediterranean style. What do you see?
Сейчас по-средиземноморски. Так, ребят, сейчас ваша очередь. Ингредиенты, названия, вот эти вот.
So you see that a lot of sauce in the plate we don't do. It's finished. Today we give just a little bit and we give the choice to our guests to put extra sauce Yes or no?
То есть теперь мы подаем соус отдельно для того, чтобы сам наш гость мог выбрать то или иное количество соуса.
Today we not give a piece of fish like this.
Мы не подаем вот большой кусок рыбы.
By the way, the examples that I'm showing you is of a set menu, a degustation menu. It's not individual dish, okay?
Данная презентация – это презентация
Because I'm sure when I look at Russian portion and you see this, you will ask me, is this for a baby?
Собственно, по сравнению с порциями, которые подаются в России, кажется, что это для маленьких детей.
Your portion's really terrible. When I come into a restaurant, it's like, oh, I invite somebody else?
Я пригласила еще кого-то.
So you always start in this way because it's baked fish, yes? There is couscous, there is zucchini cream, there is eggplant caviar. What?
Икра из баклажана.
You can see there. Can you reach? Otherwise I put myself here. There is some baked chorizo and some other ingredients. I am sure that they can find it back later, da? You are great, the best. So we use smaller pieces of fish and we bake them really tasty. Here you see the Maillard effect on the fish. We use also the skin of the fish to make it bakey, really crispy. And sometimes we use the skin of the fish to bake separately and use as the croustillant, because you always need a little crunch in each dish. So it's important that your flavors are right, but it's also important that your textures are right and different. Not only put like, is this a baby dish? I would agree if you only put the zucchini cream, because it's that you can give to a baby. But we add some couscous, which already gives another feeling in the mouth. Yes? So all these textures are important to give you a final dish. Before we went to a restaurant simply to eat quickly, then we go to the cinema. Yes? Today, as a chef, as a restaurateur, we try to keep our customers, to give them emotion, to give them a full, complete sensation. We try to be the theater or the cinema. We don't want them to go. They can go, but another day. And if they want to eat, well, they go to McDonald's. Well, voila. Quick, and get done. So that's what we want to do. We want a full experience for our guests. Yes? And that, my friends, not only comes with food. That also comes with the way you are waitering. The food may be very, very good, but if your waiter is an asshole and he does his presentation wrong, your food goes down with 50%. On the other hand, if you have an extraordinary waiter who knows how to tell a story and who can really enthusiastic his guests, you may make shit. He will sell it and people still will say, oh, that's good. Because of the way that he served it, because of his story. You see the interest of collaboration. Very important.
Коротко, презентация должна использоваться маленькие кусочки рыбы с кожей для того, чтобы было разнообразие
20?
различных текстур. Также используется крем, который нежный, кожа хрустящая и так далее. И очень важно, 50% успеха вашего блюда, вкуса зависит от сторителлинга. Я думаю, что вы все это знаете. Если официант неправильно подал блюдо, то гость может быть не очень остаться довольным. Но если его правильно презентовали, даже простой салат, то это будет просто вау, круто, классно.
Here we have another presentation. Pigeon, young pigeon d'Anjou.
Анжуйский голубь.
With red potato cream, peas cream, this one, Huh?
с пюре из красного
Small
картофеля,
piece.
из горошка.
You see, we work with small amounts of different textures, different tastes, but when you put it together, you get something which is heavenly. And the thing is, we make sure that when you get out of the restaurant, you are not getting out like, oh. But you're also not getting out like, okay, now I want to go buy a waffle or a pancake, or we go to another restaurant and have decent dinner. So it's all about creating taste, texture, image, sensations, smells in one dish, and give several of these creations of you. That is what a set is about. And the thing is, you should make sure that your guests are not hungry when they go out. And I mean the man, because they mean most, I want a beef stick like this, so what is this? This is not food. Yeah? So they should be happy. But also the lady, she should say, well, that was a nice dinner, it was very tasty, and it was light, I'm not feeling like overwhelmed. And you can do this, guys, really, you can. It's not about the amount that you put in a plate. It's about the combination of taste, smell, the way it is sold, and the vision, how you see it, the perception of it. If I give you brochette, шашлык?
Шашлык?
Is brochette, да? Yeah, да, ой, шашлык. If I give you a shashlik with 3 pieces of meat of 150 grams, you will look at me and you will say, come on, what is this? Now, try it, you will see that I'm right. You take the same amount of meat, 150 grams, you cut it in 5 pieces, not block, but long. You put it again on the stick, I present it to you, I put my 3 pieces and I put my 5 pieces in a plate. You will eat and you will tell, with that I had enough, but that was really not enough. It's the same amount of meat. You get my point, it's here. People eat with their eyes. Again, I said it before and I repeat this. So it's a psychological process. And it means that if some people see that, okay, they are already satisfied in their mind. We do not know what hunger is, believe me. We are not living in Sahel. We're not living in third world countries. We have food every day. If you tell me, I'm hungry, I do not believe you, because you had breakfast. But in the countries where there is no food, they are hungry. They know what it is. So it's all about perception again. And you see this, just try it, please do that. This shashlik with 5 pieces gives you the impression that you are full. And the one with 3 pieces, which is exactly the same amount of food, gives you the impression that you have not eaten. Translate that because it's important.
Психологическое восприятие презентации блюда очень важно, поскольку когда перед вами есть шашлык с 3 кусочками мяса той же самой граммовки, но если вы презентуете его, нарезав на 5 кусочков и каким-то образом его организуете, то все захотят съесть второе блюдо, потому что прежде всего мы употребляем пищу глазами, то есть вначале мы смотрим, затем мы едим.
Morals. This was the killer.
Сморчки убийцы.
So this is lobster with white asparagus, bellota, and morels. And now where is the lobster? This is the lobster. But separate, and that you not know, there is a lobster sauce that is served separately with pieces of lobster inside. So it's like a béarnaise in this case. It's, you know what it is, béarnaise? Yeah, good. So we make a béarnaise sauce with the carcass, the jus of the carcass of the lobster, yes, with the gastric, with some cream, and we put lobster meat inside this sauce. Before we do everything in a siphon, that you have like a very fluffy kind of thing. Very nice. You see, each time again, you see that the same design is coming back about being minimalistic with ingredients. This is Danish cod with king crab, broccoli and parsley. You are looking for the parsley, I know, but this is the parsley. Petrushka, da. And of course, salicorn. Here we have fish with mussels, North Sea shrimps, and mushrooms. Now, for those who paid a little attention to what I said before, this is my version of Sol Normande.
Это видение Эрика, филе по-нормандски.
Some beef, Belgian white blue, it's special beef race, with lettuce, gremolata, and red wine sauce, or Bordelaise butter for those who know.
Бельгийское бело-голубое – это сорт мяса, который используется.
This is tartare. This is baked meat, as you can see. Here is gremolata with marrow bone. Marrow bone. Inside your bone, you have marrow. Ням-ням.
Костный мозг, который находится внутри кости, который вот извлекают оттуда.
So again, the way to put it on a plate, there is a logical way. Because you cannot put the meat first and then the gremolata. It's not possible. The meat goes on the gremolata because there is a visual aspect and there is a taste aspect. Yeah? Here we have another one. Milk veal with corn croquette. This is made of corn. Yeah? And ox-heart cabbage.
Молочная телятина, кукурузные крокеты и капуста. Я так полагаю, что это сорт капусты какой-то, бычье сердце.
Why do I show you this? Because before, and I see in a lot of Russian restaurants, your food is swimming in sauce. But meat is not a fish. Meat, a cow can swim, but not that good. So don't put it in so much sauce, please. Just put a couple of lines. Put your meat. Put your saucier separate. Let your guest choose if he wants to swim in the sauce, yes or no. Especially the ladies, they will love you if you do this. Because they all watch, with me it's much too late, but ladies, they like to watch how much kilo they are carrying. So please be attentive to this. This one is a vegetarian plate. It's cauliflower with parmesan, green peas, sweet sour, and beetroot. And there is potato. Langoustine with spinach, pork cheek. This is what we call surf and turf. Yeah? What's on the land and what swims in the sea together in one dish. And again, here we use a brush to put the sauce.
Здесь вообще используется просто кисточка для того, чтобы нанести соус.
You see, in time. In my best Russian, are there any questions? Wow, you're very enthusiastic.
Я хотел спросить, все-таки, что важнее, подача или сама еда?
What is the food or the presentation?
Потому что если вот такую подачу, которую сказал Эрик, везде подавать, то очень много людей для этого нужно. Это экономически очень сложно будет
Because
опять
this presentation requires a lot of people to do it, and it's economical, not very.
I did these dishes alone.
Он сделал это все эти
Okay.
сделал совершенно один, в одиночестве, и потребовалось много.
It's a choice that you will have to make. But what is the most important, food or presentation?
Что самое
What do you think, you personally? What do you think?
I think first food and
сначала еда,
second presentation.
Okay,
потом презентация.
let's go back 30 minutes,
Давайте вернемся 30 минут назад.
45 minutes perhaps. I told you about my friend, Denis Martin. You
Я
remember?
говорила о своем друге Дени.
And I said to you, our brain is conducted by what we see, by our eyes. So the first thing, what happens when you eat, is what you see.
Первое, что мы делаем, мы сначала смотрим на то, что
Huh? When you think about that, and now I will tell you even something more shocking, but truth, 80% of the food that we eat and that we really like is because of smell.
80% блюда, то, что мы употребляем, это
80% of our perception of taste comes by what we smell.
80%
And only
вкуса
20%
производится
comes by
от, обоняния, то, что мы чувствуем.
what happens on your papil, on your tongue, which is divided in 4 zones. You know this, right? And then you have here the saliva that comes. When this comes, that means that you made the perfect dish. Because this is a natural action of our body to tell our stomach, my friend, you need to start digestion. But it only happens when we eat something that gives us pleasure, something really tasty. That's why you see this emoticon. Young people from now, they know emoticon better than other words. So you see this emoticon. Yes, means, oh, that's very good. Means that water is dripping out of the mouth. That's where the expression comes from. So, now I ask you again, with this information that I give you, what is the most important, presentation or taste? Don't let yourself be influenced by what I told you. Be yourself.
And taste and presentation.
Right answer.
I think we should be together.
This time you have the right answer. It's not taste, it's both. They are both equally important. Yeah?
Они совершенно равноценны и совершенно поровну важны.
Other questions, please. No?
Я хотел спросить, почему Эрик решил стать...
I think they paid him to ask questions, right? That's good, my friend. I like you. Да.
Как вы стали гидом Мишлен? Не гидом Мишлен, а инспектором, да.
How did you become an inspector?
Кто-то вас кто-то пригласил?
How was it? You were invited by someone.
Hello, I want to be inspector.
No. No. How was it? First of all, I worked very short time for Michelin because I refused to work for them because I did not agree with the philosophy that they were proclaiming. There was a publication of a guide, and there was a restaurant in this guide that was nominated with 1 star, and the restaurant was not even open. It was still under construction. Because it was a famous chef. The chef was Pierre Wijnands, a formal 3-star chef. Yes? And because he was going to open a restaurant in Ostende on the Belgian coast, they decided, okay, when will your restaurant be open? Oh, it will be open September. Okay, we put you already in the guide. But, too bad for him, yes, the work to build the restaurant took some.
Эрик недолго работал в гиде Мишлен, потому что ему не совсем нравилась философия, некоторые принципы. Например, тот факт, что в гиде находился ресторан, который был вообще не открыт. А случилось это потому, что просто очень известный шеф, получилось так, что он сообщил о том, что вот у меня скоро на побережье там откроется ресторан, и он будет очень крутой. И просто за счет его каких-то предыдущих заслуг этот ресторан, который, собственно, не был открыт, он попал в этот гид уже.
Ресторан дали списком еще до его
До открытия.
Так получилось, что ресторан к моменту выпуска гида, к сожалению, не успели открыть. И фактически ресторан получил звезду, которая еще даже не была открыта.
But I'm not an inspector, my friend. Yes, I told you before, I am a food architect designer, yes, who assists restaurants to keep star, to get a star, or to grow.
Да, Эрик помогает ресторанам как раз-таки дойти до того, чтобы получить.
But I was the youngest chef in Belgium to get a star when I was many years ago. Prehistoric. David, you still with us? All good? Any questions? No? Shut up, please.
So, today you told us about the Michelin guide and about the chefs, yeah, who get the stars. So my question is, when you get the star, have you ever lost your passion during the process to get the star?
No. As I said in my quote, I didn't do or didn't choose this job because I wanted a star. The job chose me because of my passion for food. If I am standing here today, if I am in Russia helping restaurants to get stars or to get better, it's because of my passion and because I want to build a bridge of the knowledge that I have together with the knowledge of Russian chefs. Yes? It's not about... I don't want to be a movie star. We are already today, many chefs are like rock and roll stars. They are so, and they get high diva level. I don't want this. I just want to share my passion. And coming here to the Institute, believe me, it's an honor for me to speak to you. It's an honor to see that you listen to me. And it's an honor to hope that something that I said today will help you in your future. This is a very difficult job that we do. We are never home. We're always working. We work in hot conditions. It's very hot in the kitchen. In the winter it's okay, but in the summer, yes? We have no time for social life. If we are married, our wife is always angry because we are never home. So you have to be crazy to do this job. No, you have to be full of passion to do this job. And then you will never quit. Because this is the most beautiful job in the world, believe me.
На вопрос Анастасии о том, теряет ли шеф свою страсть после того, как он получает звезду, Эрик отвечает, что мы об этом говорили, о том, что профессия повара это не про то, что получив звезду, мы становимся шефами не для того, чтобы получить звезду. Эта профессия сама выбирает нас. И эта страсть, она ни в коем случае не должна куда-то уходить, собственно, как и у Эрика. Поэтому он готов приезжать, и для него это большое счастье сейчас делиться опытом с вами, рассказывать все это вам, потому что страсть, собственно, она также в душе, в сердце, как он и говорил. А также, опять же, вернемся к тому, что если вы не готовы постоянно работать в очень трудных, сложных, иногда опасных условиях, когда очень жарко, когда вы постоянно на кухне, когда вы не имеете никакой социальной жизни, никакого общения, ваша жена или муж постоянно на вас злится, вы не видите, как ваши дети растут и так далее, то, собственно, это не совсем для вас, потому что вот эта страсть, она ни в коем случае не должна проходить после того, как вы получаете звезду, она должна только у вас увеличиваться.
Well, more question? Yes. Wait. You wait.
Может ли поделиться своими впечатлениями и названием и составом своего блюда, которым он гордится и которое выполнено из экзотических продуктов?
Could you please give us the recipe of the dish you're proud of with any exotic ingredients?
You want the recipe of the dish where I'm proud of?
Not the recipe,
Нужен
probably
рецепт или конкретно?
the name,
Почувствовать его вдохновение. Just to feel an impression, to feel the whole
you're
idea.
the best dish you're proud of.
Что это был за экзотический продукт?
What was the exotic ingredient of this dish?
I'll show the dish.
Сейчас Эрик покажет это блюдо.
My best creation ever.
Моя самая лучшая.
Well, it was my daughter, but okay.
Это была моя дочь, но
It's very difficult to come, but this one. It's my interpretation of Black Forest cake
це черный лес торта,
with
черный лес,
8 different layers as the real one.
8 разных слоев.
I have other creations, but this one I really am proud of because it took me 3 months to make this.
Для того, чтобы сделать его, поэтому я им горжусь.
So, let me tell you this. Normally, I should not show you this picture because it doesn't belong to me any longer. As a food architect designer, I work for chefs who have no inspiration. So, I go to a restaurant, I watch the ingredients that they have, I listen to the philosophy of the chef so I can translate what is in his soul as a chef into a new dish for him. Once I create the...
Что в душе у шефа, то, что он хочет каким-то образом интерпретировать, Эрик помогает это выразить в блюде.
So once that a chef accepts my proposal,
Однажды
he
шеф,
buys this dish and he becomes owner of this dish.
когда он принимает вот эту интерпретацию, которую я предлагаю, он становится его обладателем, его собственником.
Meaning that he can go to social media, to magazines, we did this and say that it is his creation.
И он выходит в прессу и куда-то в социальное общество, демонстрирует его как свое произведение личное.
It's a very interesting job, believe me. There's a lot of money involved. This dish, I'm not afraid to tell you, This dish, they paid me $8,500 for the recipe and teach the chef how to make this.
$8,000 было заплатили, да, за рецепт и за эту интерпретацию, презентацию этого блюда, которое только что показал Эрик.
So for those who are really very creative, interesting job. But you need to understand that I worked 3 months to get it done like this.
Это очень интересно творчество.
And after those 3 months, I still had needed some time to teach the chef how to make it. So it's not like 1, 2, 3, money in the pocket.
Нужно понимать, что очень много времени тратится на то, чтобы придумать его, и затем еще и научить самого шефа готовить его.
And it's not always like this. The most dishes, they are sold about $1,000, $2,000, not more.
За некоторые блюда платят 1-2 тысячи рублей. Эрик говорит о том, что эта работа, она денежная, но требует много времени. Времени на то, чтобы...
From the side of the chef, is it okay to buy recipes?
Yes. Some chefs,
Нормально ли это покупать рецепты? Да, это...
yeah, some chefs, they are so, I told you about the stress of Michelin, huh? The black side of Michelin. There is a nice, a sunny side, but there is a very sad side as well. So some chefs, they get so much under pressure and they are always inside their own 4 walls. They not come out of the kitchen. If you stay in your kitchen, you do not evolve, you do not see what is happening on the market, and you do not see new ingredients, new techniques. So some chefs, they get like a little bit burned out and depressed even,
Некоторые шефы, когда находятся
and they are
постоянно
not able to create new dishes.
на кухне, у них нет возможности что-то придумать новое, и они выгорают, впадают в депрессию, мешают с какого-то...
Other chefs, they have a team who does nothing else than create.
Некоторые шефы имеют такую команду, которая только и делает, что что-то придумывает творчество.
You seem to know René Redzepi, then you know that here is Noma and there is a boat. This boat is the laboratorium of René where dishes are developed. There are 6 people working.
Да, Нома, ресторан Рене Редзепи имеет какую-то лабораторию, лодка, да.
Лаборатория, где придумывается практически все блюда, то есть отдельное
Там
место
6.
для разработки.
6 people are working there. They are not working in the kitchen, they are only developing dishes.
Они только занимаются вот развитием непосредственно блюд.
When we look at Aston Blumenthal and the Fat Duck, on the other side of the street, there is this laboratorium where he develops dishes. Aston develops himself, but also with a lot of assistance. But not every chef has the luxury to have a laboratorium where they can develop. You must understand that cooking, it is a chemical process and a physical process.
Химический и физический процесс
Yes.
кулинарии, приготовления пищи, это прежде всего этот процесс химический.
So we became, through the years, we became more and more like scientists.
И с течением времени мы становимся все более и более учеными.
Ding dong.
Eric, you tasted a lot of good food, interesting dishes. Can you recommend a couple of places where to go in Moscow or St. Petersburg?
Эрик,
Да.
Эрик, вы пробовали очень много хороших блюд.
How big you want the list?
Можете ли порекомендовать какие-то рестораны в Москве и в Санкт-Петербурге?
Okay. Make sure that if you go to Moscow, please do yourself a favor. I was touching. Do yourself a favor. Go to Touch. Touch, Nikita.
Touch?
Touch.
Touch?
Yeah.
Ресторан Touch.
Touch, chef's table. Chef's bar. Sorry.
Шеф's бар, Touch.
Yes. Do it.
Это два.
This young man is extremely young
Это очень молодой шеф.
and extremely creative.
Он очень творческий.
I'm his mentor, so I'm with him every week. But what he does is extremely interesting. You should go. If you go to Moscow, you should go to not to our test. Don't go. But go perhaps to the. Perhaps you should go to Severiani.
Северянин? Вы можете, если будете в Москве, можете сходить.
It's not luxury.
Это не
It's like a dark bar. You come in the door, you have the curtain, and you go inside. But the food, you sit on a chair which is almost broken, and the table moves. So it's not luxury. But the food, incredible.
Вы туда заходите и попадаете просто в обычный бар, там нет ничего роскошного, но еда
He cooks his food in the oven, all of it, in a special oven.
блюда в специальных печах.
That's a technique which is very difficult to master.
Это техника, которая требует.
So it's an extreme interesting place to go. If you want in, oh yeah, I can send you there. In St. Petersburg, you said, yes?
Да.
I saw this thing on television with Konstantin. Chef Konstantin.
Константин, шеф Константин.
Yes. Yes. The pet gourmet chef. He now pet gourmet. You know this? I'll show you a picture. He now make publicity for cat food. It's when I saw it, I took a picture and I sent it to Vladimir.
Эрик увидел рекламу, где шеф Львов Константин рекламирует кошачью еду, сфотографировал это и отправил в
But there is this restaurant in St. Petersburg where everything is about horror. In the kitchen, even there was a tarantula live. And Konstantin opened the pot and it was so fun. So you need to go there. No. If you go to St. Petersburg, go to Eclipse.
Если вы будете в Санкт-Петербурге.
If you wait a little bit, you have Eclipse Classic, which is outside of town, but Eclipse Modern will be in the center. And it would be interesting to go. Of course, there are some other nice places to go, but they are so obvious that okay.
Очень много очевидных хороших мест в Санкт-Петербурге.
You're welcome. More questions? Da.
Since you arrived here, what can you say about the Russian restaurants? Do they really deserve the Michelin stars? And are there restaurants in Krasnoyarsk which can have the opportunity
To get a star.
not the
С
star
вашего,
or the Michelin
Okay.
с вашего приезда сюда, в Красноярск, что можете сказать по поводу кухни в Красноярске? Заслуживают ли какие-либо из этих мест звезд Мишлен, гида Мишлен?
So since I arrived in Russia, we are talking about anno 2009. That was my first time.
В 2009 году это был мой первый раз, когда я прибыл вообще в Россию.
I was invited by Anatoly Kom, chef of Vavry,
Я был приглашен
and in my
шефом
opinion,
Анатолий
yeah, Kom, yeah, chef of Vavry, in my opinion, the godfather of modern Russian gastronomy.
крестный отец российской гастрономии.
The enfant terrible of Russian gastronomy even. Yes? He is let's say that he is for a big piece the reason why you are still that you are sitting here, that this exists. So, what did I see since 2009 till now? First of all, I lost my heart in Russia. I really love this country.
С того момента, с 2009 года по сей день, первое, что я могу сказать, это то, что я потеряла здесь свое сердце, оставила кусочек сердца здесь, в России.
But what attracts me the most is your level of gastronomy.
Это уровень гастрономии.
I never saw worldwide, and believe me, I traveled a lot, I've seen a lot,
Я никогда не видел
but
мирового.
there is no country
Нет ни одной страны
so fast growing in gastronomy as Russia.
так быстро растущей в области гастрономии, как Россия.
You are a very young gastronomical country without gastronomical history, except for the time of the Tsar,
Вы очень
because he liked to eat. But that was for a very selected group of people. Yes?
Россия это очень молодая страна без какой-либо гастрономической истории и
Selected group of people, small amount of people that could eat at the table of the Tsar.
Исключение сделали, когда это были царские времена. Когда были царские времена, это был очень ограниченный круг людей, да, которые были ближе.
которые разбирались в этом.
But of course, after the Tsar,
Кулинарии, гастрономии.
but of course, after the Tsar came revolution,
После царя
and bim boom bam, gastronomy, bye bye, au revoir, merci beaucoup.
и гастрономия совсем пропала.
Sadly enough, but that's reality.
Это достаточно грустно, но это реальность.
And then there were some persons who were really inspired and thought, let's put gastronomy on the world map.
И затем определенные люди сказали,
Anatoly was the first to be in the 50 best restaurants worldwide.
пора снова возвратить гастрономию. Анатолий был одним из первых,
He was the first one to be invited by Gelinas, a gastronomical organization of Petrini, to perform his art in another country.
Анатолий был первым, кто был приглашен за границу для того, чтобы продемонстрировать свое искусство.
So that's the reason why I say that he was the godfather. And if I look today at your gastronomy, then it's logical that I'm standing here. It's logical that I love you guys. It's logical that I say and believe and I'm convinced that within 5 years you are going to be at the world top of gastronomy.
Поэтому это логично, что я сейчас нахожусь здесь. Это логично, что я разговариваю с вами, и я верю, что через 5 лет вы сможете стать известными топовыми шефами.
But you still need a lot of things to be done. I also see some mistakes. I also see some points that are missing.
Я вижу некоторые промахи, ошибки.
I miss chefs that they have the basics of cuisine. Therefore, I am so grateful to the Institute. Lots of chefs are very creative and they make wonderful things. But when I ask, how do you make a fish fumet? They say, we cook it for 3 hours. What the hell, cooking a fish fumet for 3 hours? You get ammoniac. You cook this 25 minutes, done.
Да, очень благодарна Институту гастрономии, потому что некоторых шефов, когда им задаешь вопрос, как вы делаете копченую рыбу, они говорят...
Это бульон.
Фиш-фиме?
Да. Речь идет о том, что ему в России сейчас не хватает шефов, у которых есть база.
Знание техник.
Да, он рад, что есть теперь наш институт, потому что шефы много креативят, на своем опыте, когда ты задаешь базовые вопросы, базовые вещи про бульоны, соусы,
они не могут на
теряются,
него
не могут ответить. Это то, чего сейчас не хватает Эрику в российской гастрономии.
So the basics are fish fumet, chicken stock, blank, brown, veal stock, blank, brown. If you can control this, then you can do everything, because it's the basics. But the problem is, most of the chefs that I see are autodidact. They teach themselves what to do, but they forgot basics. They can make lobster, they can make deer, they can make wow. But if I say, make me a bouillon,
и забывают о каких-то технических базовых вещах, когда их просят сделать бульон, они не могут этого сделать.
That's one point. Another point that I see with chefs, which is also problematic, is that they
Вещь проблематичная, еще одна проблема.
is that they do not see the possibilities of ingredients.
Они, шефы, не видят всех возможностей ингредиентов.
Let me ask you something.
Позвольте, я
You,
кое-что спрошу.
you're the smart one. Yes. Yeah, yes, you. You know Chinese cabbage?
Вы знаете,
Chinese cabbage.
китайский.
You know? What do you use it for?
Для чего вы используете?
Салат.
Salad? That's it, yeah?
Это
Salad.
все?
Each chef tell me the same answer.
Все
If I say
шефы
Chinese
говорят,
cabbage, what you use it for? Salad.
Первое, что говорят все шефы, это салат. И
Next time that you buy Chinese cabbage,
в следующий раз, когда вы купите,
you will take a pot, you will put in this pot some small amount of salted butter, you will cut your cabbage,
немножко сыра,
of course you wash it.
масло,
You will put it
порежьте туда
in the pot,
капусту,
you will put salt, pepper and muscat.
соль,
You
перец,
put a
рис.
lid, you go 10 minutes, and you come back, you taste.
Снова помешайте, попробуйте.
Careful with the salt because I said salted butter. Да?
Будьте осторожны с солью, потому что масло и так соленое.
So now already you will say, oh, damn, that's good.
И когда вы попробуете, вы скажете, боже, это очень вкусно.
But then I will say, okay, now you will add slivki. For the real gourmand like slivki, да? You will add a little slivki.
Немножечко. Литр.
You turn, and again you will taste, and you will say, oh,
Попробуйте.
that's another taste, but it's good also. So what do we do with Chinese cabbage? Salad. You understand my point? When I say to a chef, porei, what is that? They say,
Когда
that's
вы
onion.
спрашиваете, что такое парей, и они отвечают, это лук.
Porei is not an onion. It's family of the onion.
Это семейство луковых.
Did you already taste porei? Да? Does it taste like an onion? No.
Вы пробовали парей, разве он на вкус? Да,
Нет.
как?
Нет.
Нет.
When I ask, what do you use porei for? What do you answer?
Для чего пользуетесь? Где вы используете парей? Вы ответите?
Для соуса,
For
для
sauces,
оттенков для блюда, суп.
for soup,
For a sauce.
for the sauce,
Да, везде его можно в гарнир.
everywhere. Root,
As
garnish,
and a salad. Да?
Везде.
everywhere.
That's what chefs for salad, like the Chinese cabbage. But okay, for soup, that's already good. I'm happy.
Суп для
And you
супа
make sauce.
подходит. И
Already good. I'm happy. Did you already try to eat it as a vegetable?
вы, когда-нибудь вы пробовали пробовать это с
With a
овощами?
piece of fish and some nice potato.
Пробовали есть варить как овощ.
Как?
В гарнире с рыбой, с картофелем, как самостоятельный овощ.
Да.
You tried? And?
Пробовали?
Тест.
Oh, good, huh?
Вкусно?
With fish, fantastic. With cod. Porei, da, yes, inside, on next to the with potato, mashed potato with porei, also very good. And then beurre noisette on top.
С пюре картофеля. Это очень вкусно.
You will be a great chef, my friend.
Вы будете великим шефом.
Спасибо. Я
You're
надеюсь.
welcome. Да. I will remember you for the rest of my life.
Эрик будет помнить вас вообще всю
But
свою
remember, next week I will be here to hear about your chocolate and blue cheese.
жизнь. Через неделю, не забудьте, да.
Any more questions? Was it an answer? You happy with that? Good.
А нет, звезду-то можно кому-нибудь причислить в Красноярске?
If any restaurant of Krasnoyarsk.
Ah, yes.
Только честно.
Second
честно.
part of your
Be
question.
honest, please.
Now I forget you for the rest of my life. I'm always honest. There is no point in being dishonest. Certainly not in what the business that I do. So, is Krasnoyarsk ready for Michelin?
Готов ли Красноярск для Мишлена?
Michelin guides a lot. Not only the Michelin stars.
No, the awards for a big gourmand, for a plate, for the guide. Yeah. Honestly,
Если честно,
what do you think?
а что вы думаете? Вы.
You heard how Michelin operates. What do you think after
Вы
this
слышали
lecture?
все
Are there restaurants ready for Michelin in Krasnoyarsk?
I've never been in a restaurant here in Krasnoyarsk restaurants.
Then it's difficult to know, of course.
Мы не были за границей, и мы не можем сравнить, поэтому мы спрашиваем.
Но здесь такой вопрос, что мы знаем все критерии, то, как это оценивается, то, как это выбирается, поэтому, но если вы не были в ресторанах
The answer is
в
yes.
Красноярске,
Not one, but several. You have some very good restaurants in Krasnoyarsk, where you can be proud of.
много ресторанов, которыми можно гордиться.
Really. And I'm not only talking about a certain group.
И я не говорю о какой-то особой группе.
I'm sorry, I'm not making publicity, okay?
Да. Эрик не
Okay.
делает никакой рекламы.
I'm not paid to make publicity. If they want to make me publicity, they have to pay me. No, it's a joke, No, there are several restaurants in Krasnoyarsk
Есть несколько ресторанов в Красноярске,
who deserve, in my opinion,
которые заслуживают, по моему мнению,
at this moment,
да,
Bib Gourmand,
Bib Gourmand,
plate,
тарелка,
but no star.
но не звезда.
But I think by the time that Michelin will be here,
Но я думаю, что к тому времени,
and looking at the evolution, I see already an evolution since December. I was here last time.
Эрик был в декабре.
We
и
are
видел
now like 2
эволюцию.
months later, and I'm again here, and I already see an evolution. And I also see that people want to evolve. If this continues like that, Krasnoyarsk will be one of the towns in Russia with stars.
Видна эта эволюция, видно, что люди хотят.
But it will not only depend on kitchen. The problem is service.
Проблема в сервисе.
That's the biggest problem, not only here, but in whole of Russia.
Самая большая проблема не только здесь, в Красноярске, но и в сервисе.
Good waiters are very difficult to find.
Очень трудно найти хороших официантов.
And again, I hope that you will organize, please.
Эрик надеется, что
I want to open a school in
благодаря
Moscow.
институту
I'm serious, I'm not joking. I really want to open a school for waiters and for chefs as well.
Эрик задумывается о том, чтобы открыть школу в Москве для официантов.
But not as competition, but as colleagues. Because I want a copy of this. Because what you have here, I said it in the beginning already, this is wonderful place.
Это не соперничество, это что-то было, когда
I wished I lived here and not in Moscow. Then I could... Can I be teacher?
Эрик бы хотел жить здесь для того, чтобы быть преподавателем здесь.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, any more questions?
Еще вопросы?
Valérie, dites-moi.
I haven't any questions, but I want to say thank you so much for your lecture. We get a lot of new information for...
That was my speech, sorry, that Valeria That was my speech, I prepared it all for you, but she took it wrong.
And she looked into your brain?
Probably.
Wow, what a connection.
Давайте мы сюда выходить и говорить. Это была моя слова, моя речь. Благодарность за вас, Лера начала. Я только за.
We get a lot of new information about Michelin Guide and presentation of dish. I hope to see you soon again.
She said that last time to me too. And look, and I came back. Your wish came true. You see, your wish will come true too. I look to you now.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.